How do high schoolers get away with anything with Ring cameras, etc.? Kids today do a lot less of that stuff than they did a few years ago. Teens are less likely to have sex, drink, etc. than they used to be, partly because they have so much less privacy. Find the blind spots, hide things in their backpacks, or live out their life and mischief online. My pops had cameras all over and around the house. He told me later that he saw all the sneaking out, boozin', smockin'. He just didn't tell my mom cause it wasn't anything too bad. Graduated a few years back and it's horrible. Obviously crime is reduced like porch pirates, theft, etc., but all the harmless kid stuff is going away. Ding-dong ditching is a one-way ticket to a Facebook post with the whole neighborhood tracking you down. You have to drive miles and miles away if you truly want to do it. Sneaking out to go to party's house is impossible, because either your parents, theirs, or neighbors have rings and get alerted. Kids can't throw parties anymore like they used to when dad was out of town, because once again, cameras everywhere. Good luck sneaking home drunk when even if you're quiet the Ring alerts the whole house. No more Halloween candy robbing or back to the Facebook can't TP or fork anyone's lawn because they will call the cops with videos, and it's not even just Ring. It's tracking, Life 360, screen monitoring, internet blocks. It's honestly horrible. I will say that my parents didn't use Life 360 or Ring because they truly didn't want to know what I was doing. They believed in letting me be honest and having trust, and damn right did I get caught a few times. But growing up around it and friends with it is horrible. You're constantly being recorded and you never feel alone even on walks by yourself. For real, I grew up in the 90s and if I got caught for half of the stuff I did, I'd be grounded for life. Haha, they don't. A while back I broke into a school one night goofing off with friends, and the cops who came literally told us, yeah, maybe 10 years ago you could have gotten away with this stuff. But not anymore, too many cameras around. I'm sure teenagers nowadays have creative ways to get around the problem. Maybe disabling their Wi-Fi temporarily so they can sneak out while the Ring is disconnected or something. Many years ago me and my now husband lived in a neighborhood too nice for us, but his parents moved to Texas and so we rented that house in a wealthy suburb for a few years. For whatever reason this neighborhood would organize everyone placing Santa hats on the mailboxes from Dec 1st through Jan 1st. I grew to hate these hats like no other. They would look terrible after the weather hit them all month. They were always dollar store quality, so they looked cheap on their best day. They would blow off in storms, etc. I hated those hats so much I used to fantasize about running through the neighborhood like the Grinch at 3 a.m. and steal all the Santa hats. But the very first year we moved, boom, Ring doorbell cameras everywhere. A real missed opportunity. I just didn't do stuff like that at home. Would let my parents know I was going out to the park and be home at a reasonable time. Most people with cameras at their house don't actually look at them unless there's a reason to. The 2 times my parents ever needed to look at the cameras at their house they had to ask me how to log in and do it. Most don't do that kind of stuff, and those that do know how to either avoid the camera or delete alter the footage. Cameras can only do so much. I had a gas can outside my last house, fancy quick fill dirt pipe one, accidentally forgot it outside one single time after unloading. Guy drove up to the edge of my driveway sideways, couldn't see the plate, walked up, grabbed the can, flipped off the camera, and left. I filed a police report with no hopes of ever seeing it again, and I never did, and never heard about it again. Joke's on him though. The O-ring was bad on that can, and it leaked. So when he tossed it in the car like he did 100 chance it leaked everywhere. My back door never had a Ring camera. I snuck out pretty much every night either to smoke weed by myself, meet a girl, or meet my boys. I sneak alcohol in all the time as well. As for other people's houses, I never went near them. You can literally just unplug the Wi-Fi router and they won't upload footage or send notifications. I used to sign onto the router from my computer and disable wireless, then re-enable it when I got home. I had a 10 p.m. curfew and would sneak out almost every weekend in high school after a few successful attempts in high school. Come home, say goodnight, and right out the bedroom window. Kids still often try to spend the night at their friends whose parents have loose rules. My parents put it where a light used to be, I just flicked the switch. Kids these days don't understand how amazing it was to grow up in the 80s. There's no Ring doorbells on Windows. I have a tendency not to look at Ring footage unless I need to. My parents only looked at the Ring when it detected motion nearby, which was pretty easy to get around. Although I've never really been the partying type. You drink in your room like a normal teenage alcoholic.